plants, cares, and grows. These are words by Konrad Adenauer, Germany's first chancellor and the man who gave name to our institution. We are among various foundations affiliated with a different political party, but acting independently in our work. Our main focus is on security, innovation, and representation and participation. Today, democratic progress is experiencing numerous challenges, making our work more important than ever before.
Veränderungen sind möglich.
With more than 100 offices all around the world, we translate our mission into concrete projects. More than 1,000 employees embrace a range of topics that help and maintain secure and peaceful societies. Through our European and international cooperation, we implement diverse methods tailored to meet the unique needs of each region.
Wir müssen es eben schaffen, dass wir alle Menschen mit an Bord holen.
We promote the democratic values of peace, freedom, and justice.
We want to be leaders, not rulers.
For in democracy lies the wisdom of the people, and from the wisdom of the people, prosperous communities can blossom. Let us continue to plant, care, and grow the flowers of democracy as Konrad Adenauer once did. Join us online to learn more about our work in your region and how you can get involved. Let's shape democracy together.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to all of you for this 42nd Joint Staff Development Program 2026, leading change in a decade of disruption, strengthening civil society for India at 2047. That's the theme on which we are going to be discussing for the next 3 days here. Welcome all of you to Hotel Carlton at Kodaikanal. As many of you would be aware, Kodaikanal is known as the Princess of Hills, located on the hilltop of Parni Hills as a part of the Western Ghats. We are all sitting at about 7,000 above mean sea level today. Lovely climate, exquisite beauty all around. We have, I think, enough time in the schedule to enjoy the beauty as well as we enjoy the program. Just a few reminders and a few nuggets before we start the program formally. All the sessions are going live, ladies and gentlemen. Since many of us, our own counterparts, have not been able to participate in this program live today in person, we have made arrangements for the program to go live today as well as the rest of 2 days, tomorrow and day after. Please pass on the links that are available in the JSDP group, not only to your counterparts who are there at the KS partners, also for the friends and well-wishers who you think would be interested in the topic that we are discussing here. We start all programs on time, as you are aware, so I request all of you to be available as per the schedule given here so that we are able to keep up with time. And since the program is going live, I think it's only the fitness of things that when the video turns around, the hall should not be empty. So I request all of you to be available inside the hall during all the sessions. As I said, we have enough time in the schedule to enjoy the beauty morning before the session starts, as well as we are finishing all the sessions around 4:35, as you have seen. And the 25th, we also have free time. So with these words, as you have seen the schedule today, we have a very brief inaugural function. At the end of the function, we have, after the vote of thanks, we have a group photo which will be taken right here. So I request all of you to stay back after the vote of thanks. And what follows after the group photo is a fantastic live orchestra that is going to be there for all of us today. I know many of you enjoy good music. We have seen it in Delhi when Uday and his team arranged for us. So I think you're going to have a lot of Bollywood, Hollywood, whatever numbers that the band is prepared for us. A good friend of ours, Anandam Band, Mr. Mahesh and Mrs. Mahesh, they have curated Whole lot of items, songs for you all, and I think all of you are going to enjoy that. Followed that will be a cocktail and dinner. So we're going to have a fantastic session, ladies and gentlemen, and a small reminder for tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. is the directors' meeting. That's not going to be in this hall. That will be at the Sheffield boardroom, which is there alongside the lobby. Right. Now, once again, let me welcome all of you all to this 42nd Joint Staff Development Program 2026 on behalf of CAS and MMA. I welcome all the CAS partners. Yes, let's give it up to them for this, all the effort that has gone into this to put this together. Thanks everyone for all those of you who have taken so much pain to come here and participate in person. And we will not miss those who are not able to participate because they will be watching this program live as well. All good things should begin with something bright, something light. So, to make the auspicious beginning for this occasion, may I now invite the dignitaries to please come up and light the lamp. May I request Group Captain Vijayakumar to get along Mr. David Merkle, who is Interim Director, Konrad-AdenauerStiftung, in your office, Mr. Shiv Kumar, Dr. Rajkumari Jeevagan, and Ms. Simran Dhingra from CAS. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I think we have had all the blessings from the top now to start the program today. As they say, well begun is half done. I think we are well on time. And with lighting the lamp, we are all set to go. What you just heard is the southern cousin of Chennai, the Nadaswaram from Tamilnadu. So, may I now invite the dignitaries to take their place on the dais, please. Mr. David Merkle, Interim Director, Konrad-AdenauerStiftung, Mr. C Siva Kumar, Director, Roots Industries India Limited, Dr. Rajkumari Jeevagan, Founder and Managing Partner, Waalai Foods and Chairperson, GMS Foundation, Ms. Simran Dhingra, Head of International Cooperation, Konrad-AdenauerStiftung, and Group Captain R. Vijayakumar, Executive Director, MMA. I think we can give them a big round of applause, yeah. Group Captain Vijayakumar is not, unfamiliar to this audience, but still, it's always a pleasure to introduce him. May I have the AV, please?
Group Captain R. Vijayakumar, retired, VSM, Executive Director of Madras Management Association, is a highly decorated Indian Air Force veteran and recipient of the Vishisht Seva Medal. A veteran of the Kargil operations and IPKF mission in Sri Lanka, Group Captain Vijayakumar exemplifies leadership and public service. Under Group Captain Vijayakumar's leadership, MMA has been adjudged the Best Management Association in India by IMA for 15 consecutive years.
May I now invite Group Captain Vijayakumar to formally welcome the gathering and also provide an overview of the JSDP.
Thank you, Venkat. Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed a pleasure to do this again, and MMA, we've been doing it quite a number of times, this JSDP. And this year particularly is very, very interesting because we have been told to do this at same location, different places, different team, different people, a new look JSDP, and I'm quite sure it will get transformed. Mr. David Merkle, it's Interim Director, Konrad-AdenauerStiftung, India office. Vijayakumar, my good friend, who is Director of Roots, who has come all the way from Chennai to be with us this evening. Dr. Rajkumari. Dr. Rajkumari is again Jeevagan distributed speaker, leader, she is representing. Then also Simran, who is a great supporter of MMA. We do a lot of events together. We almost in touch every week. Simran is great supporter. She takes care of international relations of Konrad-AdenauerStiftung. And all the ladies and gentlemen who have joined us from different group, our old members, new members, and some of the invitees, and all the viewers watching the program live from all over India. What we have done this time, we have gone live because we wanted this message to be conveyed to so many people what we are discussing, because this is a subject which is very, very dear to many of the NGOs. And is some echoes coming?
Yeah, echo. Keep the door open.
That maybe you can mute the TV. It's possible because the people who are listening, they shouldn't get two Vijayakumars talking actually. They'll get confused. Is it okay now? Okay. Anyway, we'll live with it. That's why we took it live. Okay. That's why we took it live to large number. This has been shared by our team, Donny Foundation, and a couple of our NGOs to all the NGOs, some 2,000 plus NGOs across India, plus all others. So in all together, we put together more than 5,000 NGOs, it reached them, and I'm quite sure even 10% watch, more than 500 people, reach to a couple of thousands of people watching it, and the idea is they should take it. And this is a 42nd in numbers Joint Thought Development Program, leading change, a decade of disruption, strengthening the civil society for India. Actually, we are living through a period in which disruption is no longer an occasional event. It's becoming a permanent feature of our environment, technology, artificial intelligence, and changing the way the work, the government, and the regulatory framework evolving. Funding models are changing, and people, the way they work are changing. And at the same time, organizations are dealing with very human challenges, attracting talent, developing future leaders, and preventing the burnout. For civil society, therefore, the question is no longer very simple. How do we manage the change? The question is going to be, the larger question may be, how do we lead the change? And the discussion of JSDP 26 is going to evolve around this. How are you going to lead the change? And I can assure you, a little later I'm going to tell you how we have some outstanding speakers going to come and share their insights with you. Now coming to JSDP, many of you are not there, many of you are watching online, they don't know what is Joint Thought Development Program 2026. This is a journey which started in 1988. You may calculate, most of you are good in maths, then 1988, how can it become 42? It should be only 38. But 4 years before the Joint Thought Development Program was started, people used to have only a directors meeting. So 8, 9 of the directors used to meet and discuss on what should be taken around, what should not be taken around. That's how it is go. But now, in 1988, the first meeting was held in Kanyakumari with the program on ecology, environment, with special reference to the Western Ghats and the role of voluntary organizations. We started like this, and the way it moved forward, that is how it moved forward. Since then, JSDP has traveled mainly across the geography, but across India and developing journey. The JSDP is now become a part of our curriculum, part of our activity year after year, and there is something significant to the JSDP this year because we have put together from 1988 onwards with the help of a couple of our partners, including Udayji and Simranji and all. We've collected a lot of data, we put them all together because documentation is one which was not really followed very greatly by JSDP. Every year we should do beautifully, live it, and now we've done this, documented from 1988 onwards. How did it evolve over the period actually? And this year, for the first time, we want to capture the journey not only in words, but also virtually live it's going, so that many people can get the benefit of this, this particular thing. Now we have therefore created a beautiful video, JSDP 2026, the brief journey through the evolution of JSDP from 1988 onwards until 2026. and a glimpse of what we seek to accomplish through this year's program. Rather than me talking quite a lot about this, I want you to experience the video. Can I have the AV, please?
In the beginning, the directors of KAS partners would meet annually to exchange experiences, to learn from each other, and to take up issues of common interest. With the support of Konrad-AdenauerStiftung, this initiative evolved into the Joint Staff Development Program, or JSDP, a unique annual gathering of KAS partner organizations from across India. Since 1988, JSDP has traveled across India, hosted voluntarily by partner organizations at different locations, each year focusing on a theme of contemporary national relevance. The journey began at Kanyakumari in 1988 with a focus on ecology, environment, and the Western Ghats. Over the years, it expanded to themes such as social justice, governance, empowerment, climate change, skill development, and technology, among others. Every JSDP has reflected the concerns of its time. When India was discussing decentralization, JSDP examined Panchayat Raj and the role of NGOs. When sustainability became central to development, JSDP focused on climate change, energy security, and SDGs. When the world moved towards technology-led transformation, JSDP explored smart solutions for the social sector. These were not just themes, they became conversations that shaped perspectives, strengthened institutions, and inspired action at the grassroots. What makes JSDP special is not only the quality of its content, but also the spirit of partnership. For 4 days every year, more than a dozen KAS partner organizations come together to learn, question, debate, share experiences, and build lasting bonds. Madras Management Association has had the privilege of hosting several editions of JSDP, each contributing to the larger vision of strengthening civil society and leadership for national development. In 2026, JSDP returns to Kodaikanal for its 42nd edition with the theme, Leading Change in a Decade of Disruption, Strengthening Civil Society for India at 2047. As India looks ahead to 2047, JSDP continues to remain a platform of relevance, reflection, and renewal. It reminds us that civil society has a vital role in shaping an inclusive, sustainable, and democratic future. From a directors forum to a national platform of partner learning, JSDP has evolved into one of the most sought-after programs among KAS partners. It is a journey of ideas, a journey of partnerships, a journey of commitment to India's development.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is JSDP for you, and we thought so that you have some idea how it's evolved over the period and what our important initiative under the CAS and JSDP partners come together. I personally experienced some outstanding publication. One is Rule of Law, where so many things which we never knew about, the constitution, your power, we learned. Panchayat Raj system, we've gone and worked at the grassroots level with Panchayat presidents and tell them how good it is. So there are so many I can keep telling you, and this group is looks very simple, but it's a very elegant and outstanding and very powerful group where the network of NGOs joined together, bring out some outstanding initiatives. And coming to today's thing, everybody talking about India 2047, 100 years we'll be completing it. Then what is the conversation going to be there? How are we going to look at NGOs by then? That is what is going to be there, and whether it's going to be inclusive, equitable, resilient, or humane. Civil society have a critical role to play, and that rightly happened. That's why we choose this topic, what we are going to be discussed today. And how we put together is, we got a team at MMA intellectuals who sat together after deliberation and thought-provoking insights and strategic management meetings. Over the next 3 days, we will be discussing a structured program with 8 major engagements of different subjects with 21 focus topics area, and discussion will take place during this period. And each one of them, we have a gem of outstanding thought-provoking leaders who will be coming and talking to you, drawn from different organizations, different NGOs, civil, including the national level, advisors, some of the best industry leaders, because all that list is listed in the schedule which has been given it to you. What will be the role of civil society in 2047? Now, we have to look at it, and CSR funding alone doesn't do that, and there are much more role they have to play. And there will be number of conversations not only about future-ready NGOs, technology and artificial intelligence, people and leadership, talent, volunteering, communication, well-being and burnout, because this is one thing which is impacting not only NGOs, many of the corporate leaders and other social sectors. We thought we must pay attention to this area, how to avoid burnout and how you can take yourself, look at yourself, make sure that you have to live happily and healthily so that you can take the product and project what you had undertaken to do, a commitment, do it very nicely. So finally, our peer clinic will discuss on some important subject. They'll come out with some very good discussion outcome. So that is what is the final decision. And we get some good number of delegates, about 80 delegates come from all over India and representing diverse fields, including youth, development, governance, because each of our JSDP partners are outstanding achievers. And over the next 3 days, you participate, ask a lot of questions. It's not only for you, all the viewers watching it live. And what must not change is our willingness to learn, unlearn, and collaborate and lead. This is what I think. Maybe next 3 days, we'll find the learning, the reflections, the friendship of the purpose, action, networking, and we're going to have a great time. Once again, very, very warm welcome to each one of you for the 42nd Joint Star Development Program. Thank you, and I wish you, each one of you, engaging and enriching JSDP 2026. Thank you for your patient attention.
Thank you, sir. I think you provided a great overview of what's going to come for the next 2 days. Ladies and gentlemen, 1998 to 2026, without a break, is something very substantial. Let's give it up to the cast for that. Yeah, why not? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. David Merkle is the Interim Director, Konrad-AdenauerStiftung, in your office. May I have his AV, please?
Mr. David Merkle, Interim Director, Konrad-AdenauerStiftung, KAS, India Office, is an experienced expert on China and Europe-China relations. Mr. David has led KAS activities in China, working closely with partners across politics, academia and civil society, and regularly contributes as a speaker and moderator at international forums. An East Asian Studies scholar, Mr. David brings extensive experience in analyzing political, social and educational trends in Greater China.
May I now invite Mr. David Merkle to provide the introductory remarks, to share his introductory remarks, please.
Thank you very, very much. Group Captain Vijayakumar, Mr. Kumar, Dr. Jeevagan, dear Simran. On behalf of Konrad-Adenauer Foundation, it's a pleasure for me. It's a great honor to be part of this 42nd Joint Staff Development Program. And as you Group Captain, as you just introduced the background, how basically we started in 1988. It is basically, it shows that it's not only a project, it's not only something that brings people together on a regular basis. It means it already has been shaped as an era. And what we are going to discuss in the next few days, and what basically the main idea, of course, of this joint staff program, to think beyond our own framework where we work, where we interact. It's about really bringing knowledge together. It's about thinking all these issues we are going to tackle with a very, very strong external factors that are shaped right now, or which are shaping our own framework where we cooperate. And so I'm very, very much looking forward that we have this opportunity to hear from you, to learn from you, but also to sit together and to think together what our approach, what our role can be. If you look at Europe and if we look at India right now, I think, and you tackled, of course, these issues also in the last few years already, it's also pretty much about the optimism and also the prospects of our youth. In Europe, we see right now also the impact of technology, of sometimes also quite related to a certain level of information that makes people feeling insecure. So we need much more basically organizations. We need a framework where we can basically build trust, where we also have the opportunity to learn from each other, also from other countries, how they tackle certain issues, maybe in the social welfare part, may it be health, but especially also when it comes to the future of work. And so I'm really, really thankful for what you are doing, Group Captain, with the MMA, that our team here in India is a strong advocate for exactly bringing these expertise together, to think about what we can do to tackle our challenges we face, but to turn it really into something that provides solutions, that provides ideas, where we can basically work on a better future. Konrad-Adenauer Foundation, it was a very nice introduction also of our foundation. Konrad Adenauer became the chancellor in Germany at a very high age already. I think he was in his 60s already, 65, 66. But he turned to be a chancellor that gave a very strong path for Germany, with a close relation to the Western part of the world, but with always keeping the doors open and also looking beyond the West and looking east. And I think what shaped our country and also made it possible for us later to exist as a foundation, it's basically rooted in a very clear leadership. It's rooted in that we try to analyze what our problems in this world are right now, and it always comes together that we have to bring together domestic issues with international trends. And therefore, with MMA, with your whole team, I know what this means to set up such a 3 days program with all the efforts you've done, also with, of course, all partners in the network being part and even providing this kind of facilitation to come together. This is really, for me, as a youngster when it comes to India, because I'm mostly based in other parts of East Asia especially, it's really a big honor to be part of it. And again, thank you to all our partners, to the Group Captain, and also Simran and Anjali for being part of this and making this possible. So I wish us all great discussions, a great time together, and if you have questions, always feel free to come also to me.
Thank you, Mr. Merkle. I think you've set the tone for the JSDP for the next 2 days. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. C Siva Kumar is a part of our MMA Managing Committee. He is the Director of Roots Industries India Limited. May I have his AV, please?
Mr. C Siva Kumar, Director, Roots Industries India Limited, is a strategic thought leader, quality-driven serial entrepreneur, and a strong advocate of asset-light manufacturing and customer-centric excellence. Mr. Siva Kumar leads diverse ventures across manufacturing, consultancy, and retail, while championing innovative HR practices featured in leading business publications. A firm believer in creating and sharing wealth, Mr. Siva Kumar has received several national and state honors, including the Incorporated India Award for Excellence in HR Practices.
May I now invite Mr. Shiv Kumar to deliver the keynote address, please.
Good evening. I'm extremely delighted to welcome our distinguished guest of honor this evening, Dr. Rajkumari Jeevagan, founder and managing partner, Waalai Food, Chairperson, GMS Foundation, and Chairman of the Women Entrepreneur Forum of Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. David Merkle, Interim Director of CAS, Madam Simran Dhingra, Head of International Cooperation, CAS, my very good friend, Mr. Group Captain Vijayakumar, distinguished guests, representatives of CAS, invitees, leaders, and colleagues from CAS, partner organization from across India, ladies and gentlemen. I'll quickly brief you about my industry background and what I do as part of NGO. From an industry background, I'm a director of routes. I'm also into automobile manufacturing, supplying tipper bodies and haulage bodies for Ashok Leyland. And then we run a few of the retail outlets for the Titan, Tanishq and other brands, and have one of the largest supermarket in Tanjore called PPDS. In the NGO side, I'm a trustee of the Banyan. We work on the destitute women. I'm an advisor for Mugavari Foundation, where we fund students for their higher education, particularly for graduation and post-graduation. And the third one that I do is I'm a part of Ramakrishna School, where we promote education in school. So these are three broad trusts that I run. I also have initiated quite a lot of activities in the sports arena. Now coming to today's topic, I thought I must not digress too much. Given the time constraint, I prepared a note that I can share with you. The first thing that I like to tell you is, when I think about my statement of a good NGO, I feel it must be driven by the belief that lasting change begins at the grassroots level, where empathy meets action. So the key word then is empathy and action. Our goal is to bring our dedication, skill, and heart to your mission, helping them turn challenges into great opportunities, and building a stronger, more resilient community together. This, in short, is what I thought will represent a great NGO. I know the journey that you've taken. I know I've been part of the Banyan for over 30 years, and I know how difficult it was in 90s, how it changed in 2000s, how in the last one decade in terms of governance, what kind of difficulties are thrown, what kind of challenges are thrown, and what's the bigger opportunity. So let me go with the text and try to connect as much as possible, given the few minutes that I have. It's indeed a privilege and pleasure to be here with you at this beautiful venue in Kodaikanal for the inaugural session of the 42nd Joint Staff Development Program. Let me congratulate CAS, Madras Management Association, and the partner organizations who gathered here for sustaining this valuable platform for so many years. 42 years, it's not a small number. The very fact that representatives from organizations across India have come together here for 4 days of reflection, dialogue, learning, and exchange speaks of something very important: our willingness to learn from one another and our shared commitment to building stronger institutions for a stronger India. The theme chosen is very apt: leading change in a decade of disruption. I think the word disruption has been used many, many times. If you look at the last 6 months, number of disruptions that have come, or from 20s with COVID and many things, the disruptions. And we always talk about change. Earlier we were talking about change in general, but now change with the kind of disruptions that we're facing. We hear this word disruption very often today. There's a technology disruption. There's artificial intelligence, giving us opportunity and challenges. Business models are being invented, reinvented. Climate concerns are large. Young people have different choices, and across society, citizens are demanding greater transparency, accountability, and responsiveness. Even in a state like Tamilnadu, we never could think of a party, coming into power without spending much money, without many meetings. There's been a paradigm shift in the voting pattern of Tamil Nadu. Change has become the environment in which we live. Coming from an industry, I have spent my professional journey dealing with change in my manufacturing industry, in my retail industry, as an entrepreneur, and also in many of my HR activities, leading to organizations' growth. And one lesson has remained constant. Organizations do not become successful because they avoid change. They become successful because they embrace change. I believe this principle applies equally, perhaps even more strongly, to the civil society. As India moves towards 2047, we naturally speak about becoming a developed nation. We speak about economic growth, infrastructure, manufacturing, technology, innovation, and global competitiveness. We must also ask, what kind of society do we want to be in the year 2047? Will every child have access to quality education? Will our young people have the skills and confidence to shape their future? Will vulnerable communities have opportunities to participate meaningfully in India's growth? Will our institutions enjoy the trust of the people they serve? I can go on with the challenges that we have. Like I can tell you that you as NGOs understand communities. You see challenges that may not always appear in reports or statistics. And very often you're able to reach people for whom formal systems find difficult to reach. That makes your role in India's journey to 2047 extremely important. But with a larger role comes an NGO, and my journey with Banyan is how build well as a leader you could build your institution. In business, we sometimes make the mistake of believing that a strong leader automatically means a strong organization. That is not necessarily true. An organization becomes truly strong when its strength does not reside in one individual. It resides in the people, it resides in the system, it resides in the culture and values. Organizations which involve people to do projects on social impact have gained tremendously, and they've grown well in the last few years. The same is true for NGOs and development organizations. The real test of leadership is not how indispensable we make ourselves, but how the organization run beyond our tenure as a leader. So, from the Banyan, I can tell you, Vandana and Vaishnavi were strong leaders, but in the last 15 years, their role has been to shape other people to occupy the leadership position. The succession issue have been talked about from 2005, and today we are able to see greater impact for Banyan in terms of serving the society. Look at whether you have the systems beyond your leaders, beyond your succession. Look at whether you have systems that can sustain your organization. The greatest legacy of a leader is not an organization that depends upon him or what I told you. And my second thought is about technology. Today, all of us know how this technology is a disruption. You could use technology to find out how it can impact your organization, how it can impact the cause for which you work on. I don't have to dwell deeper on that. So it must remain a tool. Humanity must remain the purpose. The next one that I'd like to talk to you is most powerful form of social support is that which enables people to eventually stand on their own feet. We can't keep funding them continuously. We need to make sure that they can stand on their own feet. Certainly, charity has its place. There are moments when immediate help is necessary, but lasting social impact comes when we move from charity to capability. When we educate a child well, we are not merely helping one student. We could be changing the future of the entire family. When we give a young person the right skills, exposure, and confidence, we are not simply creating employment. We are creating dignity and independence. So perhaps one of the questions every social organization should ask is not only how many people did we reach, but also how many people became stronger because we reached them. There is a major difference between activity and impact. Numbers tell us how much we have done. Impact tells us what actually changed. And the final thing that I'd like to tell you, or all of you know about it, is the trust that your organization has, the transparency and the trust. I spoke about leadership, sustainability, and impact, everything. And finally, it's about the trust. The trust is what attracts funds. Trust is what gives you the future. And therefore, trust is an underlying factor for the organization's growth. The only thing that can take you tough times is the trust of your organization. I believe the future of CSR should not be viewed simply as a relationship between a donor and a recipient. It is a partnership, like how CAS has built a partnership with each one of you. Corporates can bring resources, technology, management expertise, and the ability to scale. Civil society organizations bring deep community knowledge, credibility, passion, and grassroots access. When these strengths come together with mutual respect and a shared purpose, the impact can be far greater than what either side can achieve. There is one more subject that deserves attention, and I'm happy that this program has recognized it. It's sustainable leaders, which Group Captain spoke about. You as leaders have to be healthy. You need to look at your own health and balancing your own activities. So that's one aspect that's often spoken in organizations now. You can't have a burnt out leader. That doesn't give you a resilient organization. So taking care of your emotion and physical well-being is very, very key to your organization's growth. You're not running a short stint, you're running a great marathon. And therefore, your organization can survive even 100 years. So finally, ladies and gentlemen, over the next 4 days, this program will discuss many important subjects: civil society, governance, CSR partnership, AI and digital ethics, leadership succession, communication, credibility, organization resilience, and well-being. As you begin these conversations, may I leave you with 3 simple questions. First, are we building institutions that can outlive their founders? Second, are we using technology merely to become efficient, or are we using it to increase human capability? Third, are we simply creating beneficiaries, or we are creating empowered citizens? I believe you will get the answers as you dwell upon in the next 3-4 days. finally, I just want to share how we have connected between our organization and the various NGOs. In the year 1995, when Titan found it very difficult to sell watches, there was, we did a survey with customers asking, what is the change that you'd like to have within the organization? And the customers told us that you are coming out with new models of watches. What do we do with the old watches? Can you buy the old watches and give us new watches at a particular price? I wrote that to the company, and the company said, there's nothing like this in the whole world. I went back to the customer, and the customer said, you've not even sorted out my first issue. Why do you want to ask me some more questions? We asked 10,000 people, 5,000 people. They said one more thing, please work on a Sunday. I'm already working on a Sunday. So one was a perception gap, and another one was, how do I buy new watches which are tempting, where I don't know what to do with the old watch? So I wrote about 100 letters to them, and finally Titan gave me a challenge. Because today we're talking about disruption, change, and challenge. I need to talk to you about this example. Titan said, you can go ahead with something which you feel is right, but under these conditions, you cannot advertise. You cannot send individual letters. You cannot talk in televisions. You cannot do this banners, old to new, nothing you could do. I was left with nothing. I cannot communicate. The only way I did was I called Vandana, and I told Vandana, let's address the press, because that list was not covered. So Vandana said, all the old watches that are received from the customers will be refurbished and given to the people, needy people. And when Vandana said that, the next day, our sales went up 80x, meaning from 10 watches to about 800 watches. And these watches, we had to change the strap because there's a hygiene. Wherever it worked, we need to give them in the same way. Wherever it didn't work, we refurbished and gave it. So the impact, the headlines was how I've connected a CSR with great impact and the customer getting happy. So whenever you don't know what to do, there are many more options left. That's one thing that I like to give you. The second one that we did, we want to be a responsible organization. In an industry, if you look at the background of an industry, especially in a small town called Hosur, you find that you have colorful flags at the entrance of the door. You have the Communists, the DMK, the ADMK, and the Congress, each vying for a pie. Now, my factory did not have any of the flags, mainly because we had a loss for about 10 years, and therefore they didn't prefer us. But when we made profits, I wanted to make sure that they don't harm us. So when I went and spoke to my producers, they told me that continuously for generations, we've only been workers. We've never been an officer. We've never been an engineer. And that was the cause for them to rebel with the management. So I had come out with a new scheme called Generation Next, where education for the children meant that we will only mentor the children by giving mentors in Chennai who are chartered accountants, lawyers, doctors, no money spent, but only on the mentorship of these students. That transformed many of the producers' family life, and education has made their family and their community far more better. And I won the national award for that because that gave me 40 years of non-stop, an organization which runs non-stop without a strike, layoff. So take one simple thing, you all work in grassroots, go deeper into every activity that you do it. And then when Banyan wanted some more funds, I had something called, I was not a rich organization, but we had something called a Paisa rounding off scheme. The Paisa rounding off scheme is people who earn less than 20,000 or 30,000 are willing to donate the first one digit of their salary. Meaning if I earn 21,889, the 9 rupees will be donated. If I cross some 30,000, the last 2 digits. If I cross the 50,000, the last 3 digits. And if it's 1 lakh and above, the last 4 digits. We could get about 1 lakh every month. And lakh every month means about 12 lakhs. And at that time, Banyan could sustain many of its operations with that 12 lakh that we could get. Imagine if every organization is going to donate that last digit in India, and look at how impactful India can be in terms of funds. So as I've given you 2 examples of what I did. And the other final thing that I'd like to talk to you is, while you're good in many of your activities, we need to improve ourselves. That's why we're here. And I'm particularly impressed the way Rotary International took up polio as a campaign. They worked on polio across this country. But the key thing is how they connected with UNICEF and WHO. UNICEF gave them something, WHO gave them something, and even the religious leaders went around towns telling people the importance of vaccination. So connecting with other organizations is something that you could explore. And final thing is, today you can also look at, Ishwan may touch upon it tomorrow, but funds are also available in the stock exchange. It's called the Zero Coupon Zero Principal ZCZP, which is zero coupon, which means people buy you the coupon. They don't get any returns on it. They only want to see your impact. So if your impact is powerful, you could look into the stock exchange for a zero coupon, zero principal. And that probably is one more venue. Now funds are available, people are available, and thanks so much for listening patiently, and wish you all success in your further journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shivakumar, for a very, very thought-provoking address there. Thanks a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Rajkumari Jeevagan, Founder and Managing Partner, Waalai Foods, Chairperson, GMS Foundation. May I have her AV, please?
Dr. Rajkumari Jeevagan, Founder and Managing Partner of Waalai Foods, is an accomplished entrepreneur, social reformer and passionate champion of women's empowerment. From a modest beginning in 1996, Dr. Rajkumari built a thriving enterprise while creating significant employment opportunities for women. As Chairperson of GMS Foundation and we, Tamilnadu Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Dr. Rajkumari actively promotes entrepreneurship and inclusive development and has represented India at the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's indeed a privilege to invite Dr. Rajkumari to deliver a special address on this occasion.
Dignitaries on stage, friends and leaders, good evening to one and all. With a lot of gratitude, I thank Mr. Ramesh and the Madras Management Association for giving me this opportunity to be with all of you here. I think the Madras Management is doing a good job, because I appreciate them for their connectivity, community and the cause, and for fostering growth. Their legacy really inspires. Avatars are 10, Grahas are 9, Dishas are 8, Swaras are 7, Ruchis are 6, Panchaputas are 5, Vedas are 4, and Trikal is 3, the future, present and past. Day and night are 2, but the one and only is discipline. The discipline which the man lived, proved, and established. The ground reality. So I was always thinking that the fundamentals have to be intact, and the fusions, however, in whatsoever may be. Life, it's, I think, the rare treasure which all of us hold. And it's a tremendous possibility. It's the biggest profit, which all of us have to have a lot of gratitude to. And the only rule in this is live and go. Live a life well lived, and then we have to be back. So this journey is going to be a very big challenge. And the relationship here is you, with others, and with the divine. So with you, it's yourself, the author of your story, how it is you're going to take it with you. So get in right with you first. That brings a lot of peace, the solitude, not the loneliness. How to create a solitude, a value for us, a self-esteem, self-worth. Self-development is a national development. And how is it we will bring about? How is it we are going to pick up the good thoughts? There are almost 2,000 thoughts a day, 86,400 seconds. And how is it we are going to pick up the good thought to go in for an action and a doership? So that itself is a big challenge. And all of us are runners here. And our brain has to work with. It is not to fight with. And how is it we are going to think every day, is it the last day or is it the first day of our life? So that's how we have to take it up. My birth was a very big challenge for me. My parents, in spite of a lot of warning by the doctors, they wanted to have a fifth child, a girl child. They had 4 boys. And the doctors were telling my mother's health is not good and she had a very romantic heart and she should not be having a child. But they were very keen and bent upon 6.5 decades back. When I was born, my mother was declared dead. And with an artificial pumping, they could get her heartbeat. And she lived afterwards 40 years. Of course, she had a lot of health issues. But then I used to ask my mother, when I was born, did I take your life? She used to say, when you were born, you gave me life. The spark that when a woman gives birth to a child, that spark it meant everything for me. It was so valued. I was so delighted. Somebody I was most wanted. I was preferred. I was loved, adored by my parents. At any cost, they wanted me. That made me stand tall. That made me stand contributing. So that was everything. Even in times of struggles, I used to think of that one moment, how much pain my mother has taken for this life. So that made all the difference. And come what may, the attitude which my mother had, that same attitude carried me to be a very optimistic person and had a very positive energy on looking into things. Where is the darkness when the sunlight, such light prevails inside you every minute, every moment? So that made me stand committed and no quitting anywhere. Education was from a military school. It was from a KV. I was very strict. I know how it is to be in a military school. We had a lot of sports and extracurricular activities, and I was also a school topper. And we got into sports. Basketball player. I was a national basketball player. Then I went in for graduation at BCom. And I was a secretary for commerce. And I got the best administrative award from MGR. He was a chief minister then. So my days went on because every day it was full of challenges, of course. And then I got my doctorate in women empowerment and entrepreneurship from the US. And it was such a getting married to a family, a very big joint family. I was seasoned and we get very matured with accountability and commitments in a family. My husband, from the very first day, he made it very clear that you have to do it. Whatever it is, a bank or school or whatever it is, you do it. So I know all of you know what is Kakaseshta. The crow sees a pot, there is a little water. It never complains anybody. It never blames anybody. It just goes, it puts some stones, it uses some strategies, takes some risk, it drinks the water. That's how my life, that's how everybody's life is. Where to blame anybody in this? It is your run. You have to make it. So that was what my husband made it very clear, and it never stopped. I went in for playing badminton at All India Women's Conference, a social organization, and I was a secretary for that 18 years. I was in several boards like Polio Plus, Women and Welfare, Renewable Energy, and I worked with the government on so many boards. So that created a lot of NGO activities. I could collaborate with many of the NGOs. And that was how I entered the United Nations and Commission on Status of Women. And there are 52 issues of women. Women and marriage, women and population, women and politics, so many things. Women and the 52 issues. And the UN was having a solution for women as entrepreneurship. If she is able to bring something as on her, whatever she is, if she could bring something to her family, nothing like that. So there it started. That was the biggest transformation, a miracle in me when I became an entrepreneur. I went to the roadside because entrepreneurship has no caste, no creed. Yeah, it has no color, nothing, no status. I went in with a 6,000 rupees. I just got a cart 36 years back. Now, of course, it is very, I think the startups are very fancy things happening. Everybody gets a cart and all that. But at those times, the family status, everything matters. When you come on the streets, oh, something has happened, the family is on the streets. But that's how I came to the streets and had just 2 of them, making some fried rice and tandoori on the streets with the light on the cart. So because Madurai was famous for, I was married in Madurai. I was basically from Coimbatore. I did my college and things. So Madurai, it is very famous for parotas and idlis. So I made some fried rice and noodles and tandooris on the street 36 years. So now looking back, with just 6,000 rupees, which my father had given as a gift for Diwali, I just used it. People, when they came to know, they asked, okay, you should have taken a place. See, the humble start, we need some investment. We need a lot of approvals from the family. So all this made me think a lot. I thought, okay, after I just trained a person to stand on the roadside and do some basic cooking. The very first day there was rain. The second day the PWD, the traffic, everybody they just came and said who you are and just standing on the roads and how can you do this? So then slowly we picked up 500, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. I went in for 75 to 100 ladies and different labeled people. I had 4 restaurants and my home care kitchen, catering. So this was the way things went on. So I always believed that motherhood goes hand in hand with entrepreneurship, especially womanhood. My granddaughter in the US, when she came down, when she was just 5 years, when she came, there were some balloons in a wedding. She just picked up some balloons and did some sketch work on it. And she sold it for 5 rupees in a wedding house, in our wedding house. I was so shocked. They said, okay, the grandmother is an entrepreneur, so the granddaughter is also. And I could see the lot of creative innovations, the risk which she took, what people will talk about this. And so that I think if a woman is born, if a girl child is born, an entrepreneur is born. Because I'm a hardcore believer of womanhood goes so much in hand with even motherhood, the creativity, the risk-taking, the uncertainty, all those things. And yeah, talking about the gender, I don't believe in all those things because I think gender justice goes with democracy, it doesn't go with equality. And I have a daughter who's doing a research. She's a research scientist in Georgia Tech in the US and nanotechnology. She does nanotechnology. And my son who's with us in business and other entities. And he is a strategic consultant. Though my children were very culturally rooted and globally oriented. That's how I think that we had a very big wisdom inside our culture. It was an unsaid law. Somewhere we are losing out on those things and we're not able to give it to the next generation. The wisdom behind the culture. So that's how the children were brought up. And my granddaughter, one day she asked, in our days, we used to have, the boys used to have the first dosas when we used to go to my grandma's place. She thought for a long time, because she's a kid of this India today, it's a new India kids. So she thought for a long time. And then she said, oh, where the boys slow eaters. She never even realized that was a privilege given to them. The days are such. Today, no children is going to take up that sort of thing. I got into arbitration, into the chamber. I did my arbitration course and I became an independent director with Tangamail Jewelleries Limited. And life and journey, it just was learning every time. I just went around with all these things. And then I slowly got into getting, helping. The disability was not inability. That made very strong thing on me because my mother was a slow person. So for children of autism and differently able, like physically challenged, visually challenged, and intellectually challenged, I started working for them. We conduct a lot of parasports, weddings, job opportunities, skill trainings, livelihood, business train. We train them for business. And I stand as a patron for them in Tamilnadu. So that's how I got into them. And I think women development is more today, and we are coming to women-led developments and no more entries and representations. I think policies, nothing matters, the more number and the democracy which we are here. Between aspirations and reality, the gap which a woman finds is very big, challenging. And I think it's a beautiful creation, women especially. It is today it's the greatest concern facing humanity. Child safety, women's safety, wherever we go, we see all those things because women are equally competing with all aspects in all domains. So that goes, and women workforce, which was not recognized earlier. In the UN, they asked me a question. Oh, in India, half the crowd is just unproductive. You don't work. I was so amazed. Which is the half the crowd? They meant the housewives. They meant the home managers. Then, see, it's like that. Now we can't say something like that. So it's going to be the women force is going to be a great game changer. We were taught work, but we never were taught how to make that as a money. Productivity is entirely different from being active. Women, all of them were very, very active, but were they productive? That's a challenge today for an entrepreneur. So today, India, it's a big market, space power, startup nation, 4th biggest in the economy. So many things I think India has got, and it's today you see the media and law. It is at just a hand's, emerging in a hand's reach, where everybody goes into all those things. And of course, we see today health and wellness as a very big marketing pitch. Diverse is a very big industry. Wherever we go, they talk about that. So things are happening equally. Cosmetic blends, it's a very big cosmetic world. Comparison burdens, and all those things. India is a democratic country. Its demography is so great. The digitalization is so great. And so we see all this in India today. And diversity in unity is the biggest one. So closing my things, I think my speech, heritage goes with modernity, filter coffee goes with fashion, agri goes with astronauts, and technology goes with trade, and nature goes with nanotechnology. So today we are navigating with the US, competing with China, so many things. We are building relationship with so many countries around, and women also equally competing. So every atom has got its way to go. Every seed has got its treeness. So thinking of those Vivekananda's lines, he used to say, the path which you choose, if it is having 1,000 problems, you're on the right path. The path, if you don't have any issues, no problems, you're on the wrong path. So life is like that. So take it like that. And you would have seen the story of a bird, a leader, which brings its team. It crosses mountains because the god is giving colors today, on that day. Dove gets white color, Myna gets brown color, crow gets black color. There is a team leader, because a leader is somebody who has to have a welfare mind, and he has to look into the interest of the people. So the bird brings the leader brings frustrated, it cries, it sees people, the birds returning back. No, the God is done with, the Creator is done with. You don't have any colors left. No, I have to go, I have to get a color. So that's how it keeps going. It reaches the Creator, and when the Creator is just closing down and showing the colors are done with, you don't have anything to give. I don't have any color to give you. He just shows the dish which he used for colors, and he says nothing is left. Okay, the bird says, okay, just give me whatever is there in the dish. He just sprays, sprinkles. And that was the Macau. In Tamil, they call it as Panchavarnakili. You see how beautifully that bird leader could get the multicolors, this queen of the species. So endurance, resilience, whatever it is, how it keeps going. So to conclude, everybody has a different timeline, girls, boys, country, religion, so many things. Everything has got a different line. But we may differ, but as humans, we have to stay united. Dream, dare, and deliver. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rajkumari. A very inspirational address, very thoughtful as well. Ladies and gentlemen, before we conclude, we have a very, very pleasant duty to do to honor the dignitaries that have honored our request and joined us today this evening. I request my team to help us with the memento. The memento is very special. I'll tell you about it a little later, but may I now invite directors of the various JSDP partners, please come along on the dais. Mr. Gopinath, may I request you also to please join us to give away the memento to the dignitaries. That's all. Please come. Modayji, please come. Directors of Gandhidas, sir, please come. May I request Dr. Rajkumari to accept a memento along with the coffee table book of MMA and a very interesting book called The Turning Points, the third volume. So select speeches of the leaders who have come and spoken at MMA in the last 10 years have been put into a book. And I think all the dignitaries could possibly take it back and go through at your leisure time. That's Dr. Rajkumari. Let's give a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, to all the dignitaries who have taken their time today and been with us here. Yes, Mr. Gandhidas, please do come, sir. Please come join them on the stage. Yeah. Mr. Siva Kumar. Thank you, sir, once again for always being with us with MMA. Thank you so much for being here today. Yeah. Thank you. May I request Dr. Merkle to hand over the memento as well to Mr. Siva Kumar. And the third one to Mr. David Merkle, who has come all the way. He's got a busy travel schedule. Despite that, he's been kind enough to be with us today, this evening. Thank you so much. And yeah, last but not the least, we have Ms. Simran Dhingra, who once again came all the way from Delhi to be with us. My request Ms. Anjali also to join on the stage and please accept a memento on behalf of all of us here. Please come, Ms. Anjali. So, ladies and gentlemen, the mementos that we are giving away, tomorrow we will give you all those who are sitting here as well, who will be a part of the various panels. As you can see, this has been given by Kalpataru, which is an organization which is actually planting a plant on your name. So, whoever is getting a memento today, there is a plant being planted on their behalf, which will be nurtured over the years to come. So, it's a special memento. Please take it home and you can always think about the plant that has been planted on your name. Thanks to all the dignitaries for being here and thanks to all the directors who have joined us. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now, may I request, may I have the AV of Ms. Simran Dhingra, please.
Ms. Simran Dhingra is Head of International Cooperation at the India Office of the Konrad-AdenauerStiftung, KAS, focusing on geostrategic and geoeconomic issues, the SDGs, and India-Germany EU relations. A graduate in Economics and German Language and Literature from the University of Delhi, Ms. Simran is a C2 level German speaker and has served as a DAD Young Ambassador and PASH Ambassador.
Yeah, may I now request Ms. Simran Dhingra to propose the formal vote of thanks for this evening.
Thank you, sir. Group Captain R. Vijayakumar, retired VSM, Mr. David Merkle, Mr. C Siva Kumar, Dr. Rajkumari Jeevagan, esteemed partners, speakers, distinguished guests, colleagues, friends, and my dear own JSDP family. Good evening, everyone. As we begin these 3 days of learning, dialogue, and reflection, I think this year's theme could not have been more relevant. Leading change in a decade of disruption, strengthening civil society for India at 2047. For the India office of the Konrad-AdenauerStiftung, the Joint Staff Development Program, JSDP, represents something much larger than these upcoming 3 days of sessions and discussions. It is an investment in people, investment in institutions, and in the strength of the civil society in India, and most importantly, reconnecting with friends who want to bring about an inclusive and progressive change in the society. It gives us something that our busy professional lives often do not: the opportunity to step back, how we look at it after our immediate responsibilities, listen to different perspectives, and think about the kind of organizations and leaders we want to become. On behalf of the India office of the Konrad-AdenauerStiftung, I would like to express our sincere appreciation to the Madras Management Association, MMA, for partnering with us in organizing this year's JSDP. A special word of gratitude to Group Captain R. Vijayakumar, Executive Director, MMA, for his leadership and support in bringing the collaboration to life. Thank you so much, sir. Our sincere thanks to our distinguished speakers this evening, Mr. C Siva Kumar and Dr. Rajkumari Jeevagan, for bringing their experiences and perspectives to this conversation. Sir, ma'am, your stories, your experiences were indeed very inspiring. Thank you so much. And then, of course, to all our speakers, experts, and facilitators who will be joining us the upcoming days, thank you for sharing not only your expertise, but your time and experience with us. And then there are all of you, our dear partners, the directors, the team members, and colleagues from all across India. You represent different sectors, different organizations, and different experiences. Yet there is a common thread that brings us all together: the belief that meaningful and sustainable change is possible. We're grateful to Mr. David Merkle, Interim Director, India Office of CAS, for his guidance and encouragement, and to all colleagues across CAS and MMA whose work has gone into putting this program together. At this point, I would like to make a very special mention of Mr. Pankaj Madan, who a lot of you know, who is over the years has played an important role in keeping this network connected and very close. Many of us experience that warmth and sense of belonging that makes the CAS JSDP partner network feel like more than a professional network. And Pankaj sir has been an important part of nurturing that spirit for over years. I recently had the opportunity to speak with him, and he asked me to convey his warmest regards to all of you present here. I think that this is also a beautiful reminder of what makes the network so special, that even when we're not physically together, the relationships and sense of community continue. And that is the spirit with which I hope we approach the upcoming days. Because sometimes the most valuable learning does not only come from a formal conversation or presentation, but a conversation over coffee. It comes from discovering that another organization has faced the same challenge and found a different way of responding to it. It comes from sharing a failure as openly as we share success. And sometimes it is simply comes from meeting someone who makes us look at our own work differently. That, to me, is the real strength of our JSDP network. And as we think about India at 2047, we often talk about a developed India in terms of economic growth, technology, infrastructure, and institutions. But development must also mean an India that is inclusive, resilient, democratic, compassionate, and participatory. And civil society has a crucial role in shaping that India. So my hope for this JSDP is that we leave with more than new knowledge, that we leave with new questions, new connections, renewed courage, and perhaps even a few uncomfortable ideas that challenge us to do things differently. Let us strengthen our organizations, but also invest in people who make those organizations what they are. Let us embrace technology while keeping humanity at the center. Last but not the least, teamwork makes the dream work. So I'd like to thank my team at CAS India, especially Ms. Anjali Rawat, for being here with me. And of course, thank you to everyone who has made this gathering possible. And thank you for bringing your time, your experience, your energy. We look forward to an enriching JSDP. However, what awaits you now is a scintillating, reverberating rendition with a wisp of fresh air. And I'd like to thank the orchestra team, especially Mr. Mahesh and his entire Anandam band who've come all the way from Chennai, and I'm sure this evening would be nothing short of lovely. I wish you all a lovely evening and a very enriching JSDP. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Ms. Simran. I think that is the best vote of thanks, as cheerful as it can be. Thank you so much for that. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to share with you all that over 870 viewers are watching this program live. Thank you all for joining us this evening. So many members of MMA. I'm sure so many of our associates with whom you have shared watching this program live. So we have to put an end to this program so that we can invite them again to join us 10 o'clock sharp this tomorrow morning. And a small change in the photo session. The photographer has said that the light is not sufficient, and we got a signal from the cocktail saying that, they're all waiting. So we will have the photograph tomorrow, sometime during the daytime under better lights. Ladies and gentlemen, with this, we come to the end of this program. The celebrating the spirit of JSDP, cultural evening and gala dinner awaits you at the wonderful lawn that you all have been seeing since morning today. That lawn is waiting for us with all the lights and the lake in the background. Let's go and join and enjoy your evening from here. Thank you.